impossible to prepare your heart completely for what takes place when you fall in love with a suffering child. We had developed a relationship with Pastors Gerald and Betty Casozi, and it was as if the Lord immediately bonded our hearts. They had opened their 300-square-foot home to suffering and orphan children, and at the time, they had 7 living with them. They were using all of their resources in 2 different areas, to provide for their growing family and to preach the gospel and plant churches. They had outgrown the small building they were using and had prepared 30,000 mud bricks by hand because they knew that the Lord was preparing a way for their church to be constructed. It took us a year to raise the money and save up enough of our own before we were finally able to have the church standing. However, this structure will not just be used for a church. We are planning a Bible school that will open in May of 2010, vocational training, and English courses. We will reach out to the village in every way possible. Little did we know, the church we had decided to build was in a village that is controlled by witch doctors. Walking down the dirt paths, you can pass by the very houses where children are sacrificed to Satan. Ruth's infant body was discovered in a field 6 years ago. She had been raped multiple times, but the attempt to sacrifice her to the devil had failed. Betty and Gerald found her nearly lifeless body and brought her back to health. Miraculously, she is HIV negative and is now thriving just like a normal 7-year-old. She sings in the choir at church and would much rather socialize with friends than do her schoolwork. Lubega represents just one of so many children in Uganda. While it is impossible not to love his sweet little face, he is a lucky one among tens of thousands of starving babies in Africa. He made it to the hospital, and that is where we found him, weighing only 8 pounds. We brought him home, found an HIV specialist to care for him, and after just 6 weeks, he had nearly doubled his weight. Life is not easy for our little 3-year-old boy. He still struggles with pneumonia, his little body is still tiny, and he needs to be fed small portions consistently throughout the day and night. But he is a fighter, and he has been given a second chance at life. Because many children in Uganda have been orphaned by sickness, AIDS, and the effects of war, they are left with no one to protect them. They are left vulnerable. They are kidnapped and used as child soldiers, some are sold into slavery, others become child sacrifices, or they painfully die alone from starvation and its accompanying diseases. We could not simply stand by and watch this happen, nor could we turn a blind eye and pretend that it wasn't. So we constructed a home and are now surrogate parents to 20 children, ranging in age from 2 to 11. We have 12 boys and 8 girls, and all who are school-aged attend one of the most prestigious private Christian schools in Uganda. They are loved, cared for, treated medically when necessary, and receive the best education possible. They are no longer orphans, but princes and princesses in God's kingdom, and that is how they will be raised. While there are many aid organizations currently working in Uganda, the task ahead remains large. In a country that has been ravaged by war, famine, HIV, and immense poverty, many people remain in dire need of help. Our plan is to expand beyond this village, to implement more microfinance projects in Uganda and other parts of Central and Eastern Africa in order to provide people with a way to provide for themselves. Just 18 months ago, we helped Betty buy her first 100 chicks, and she now has over 600. Sales from the chickens and their eggs put food on their table, buy clothes for their children, and give them the kind of life they had never before known. While their lives are nowhere close to our American luxuries, they are so thankful to be past the days when they would walk for hours, searching for just one coin someone may have dropped on the ground in order to buy food for their family. When that failed, they would pick leaves off of trees, boil them, and drink the water. That was their only source of nutrients. There is hope for Uganda and its surrounding countries. Hope that one day there will be no more struggle just to survive the next hour. Hope that people will rise up and begin to fight for what is right and take back the freedoms they deserve. And hope that no more children will be abandoned and orphaned, left to die alone. Through our projects and sponsorships, lives are being changed and children are being rescued. We pray that soon the Lord will raise up more people to join alongside the work we are doing so that more can be accomplished and our impact even greater.